You built a monster. No breath, no heartbeat, just static remains. Hollow reflections, ghosts in the cold. So come burn down my escape. I wanna feel it, come drag me into the void. Circuits decay. I'm sorry, but it's too late. You never.
Well, hello. My silly YouTube stream here was a bit behind, so therefore I was behind on hitting the live button. Watching the wrong screen. What a professional, you know? So anyway, what is up? Welcome to Friday, December, what's today? 5th, December 5th. I was originally going to do this stream regarding AC EVO 0.4 launch, but I played it around a little bit yesterday, and in all honesty, like, it's better than 0.3, so they're going in the right direction, so I have only positive things to say about their improvement. However, I always, approach things from fun standpoint first, and for me, AC EVO isn't in a place to stream or play from a fun standpoint, outside of just doing some comparisons to other games. So I decided to switch things up a little bit since this weekend's race is a pretty big deal, if you're into F1 anyway. If you're not into F1 at all, hey, you know what? It's still racing, and F1 racing is still sim racing. So therefore, hey, it's something to do. It's something to talk about. And I'm probably going to jump in it. Well, not probably. I am going to jump into some F1 25. And maybe do some Abu Dhabi racing, because that's where the race is this weekend. So, who in chat pays any attention to F1? I'm just curious. What's my favorite series to watch? I need to make more time to watch some more WTAC, and LMSA Racing. Or, what was I say? IMSA Racing, sorry. I don't really have a particular series that's my favorite to watch. I'm just a big fan of competitive racing. I will say I probably do fall into liking F1 a bit more, simply because it is like the grand poobah, or whatever you want to call it. It's the end game for racing. Everybody in GT3, everybody in every other series essentially aspires that where F1 is the greatest. Unfortunately, it's the most niche, and it's the most, well, you either have to be the greatest racer on the planet, or nepotism. Nepotism is a big part of F1. You got to know people. But that being said, though, I think everybody can agree right now, for the most part, that at this current juncture, not comparing to the past or whatever, but at this current juncture, Max Verstappen is probably the best car racer in the world right now. Period. Regardless of what Lewis Hamilton was doing in the past, or anybody in the past, or any of the greats from the past, it's always so hard to compare in a scenario where you just can't compare to. You can't put, Senna or James Hunt or Niki Lauda, or realistically, any of the greats that have ever existed. There's just no way to truly compare them to each other, simply because they raced in different times with different technologies, so that's why I have to really, really put an emphasis on right now, today, is Max Verstappen. I think we can all agree that, McLaren is having a really good year, but I don't think Norris is at the level of Verstappen. Now, obviously, Norris is still a hell of a driver, and he's where he should be in the polls. Or in points, rather, not polls. Definitely understandable. I just have the privilege of working with some of the more relatable cars, so I like seeing them get exercise. Yeah, of course. None of us are anything to do with F1, and we never will, and I think that's a big part of why people like to follow it. It's sort of like how a lot of people, they fangirl over, say, the NFL or the NBA, and they're sitting on their couch eating potato chips. They're not... They can go play ball with their locals, or even get involved with the local league. They can do that. It's relatable. But the aspirations, and knowing they'll never achieve it, of, say, the higher tier sports, it's kind of like what F1 is for a lot of racers. Got a tickle in my throat right now. But a big part of why GT3 is so popular is because it's relatable. It's wildly relatable. It's sort of like, so I come from motorcycle. I don't come from motorcycles, but I, for the sake of this conversation, come from motorcycles. I buy production motorcycles and modify them. So World Superbike is where they take a homologation motorcycle, meaning one of 5. A bike has to be... A homologation bike is a production bike that has to meet a requirement of being 500 made a year. And that's the qualification for World Superbike. So, essentially, World Superbike is GT3. You have to have a production model vehicle first to build into a race vehicle, and that's World Superbike. Whereas GP, motorcycle GP, is essentially F1 of motorcycles. Anywho, let's jump into some F1. Who do we think is going to take it this weekend, though? Think it's going to be Verstappen or Norris? I mean, obviously it could be anybody else too, but that's what everybody's talking about, so. Oh, someone just unsubbed. They do not like F1.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
And I would love to play some Project Motor Racing. And I might still play some Project Motor Racing today, depending on how the stream goes. But it just sucks because no one's playing it right now. That's the biggest thing. Gran Turismo's being streamed a lot right now. That's taking a lot of people's attention. I would jump into some Gran Turismo, but I'd have to play on controller at the moment, so I don't care enough. Alright, the question is, what do I want to do in F1 today? I did have a career started. I might start a new career, though. I think I'm going to do skipping to F1 for the sake of why not. Full season. Custom settings. Let's just do recommended. I don't feel like, you know. Alright, official drivers. Only. Confirm settings. Let's make this as real as possible. Since simulator, even though F125 is not a simulator, this is a arcade game through and through. Official drivers.
Hey, I'm Elena. I'll be your agent for your sure to be legendary career in Formula One.
Yep.
You'll see that each...
Yep. Alright. Yeah, we're going to do some F1 today, Clippy. Just for the sake of mixing things up, because until games start getting... I was originally going to do AC EVO today, but I played it a little bit yesterday, and I realized that, like, unless I was just jumping back and forth doing some testing, I honestly am just... It doesn't hit the fun barrier yet. Alright, you know what? I'm just going to be Max Verstappen.
Current team needs no introduction, of course. On this screen to the left, you can...
Yep.
Opposite this...
Yep.
Recognition is...
Yep. Yeah. That's what we're doing today. That's my pick for F1.
Finally, let's do this for real.
Oh, let's watch this.
It took so long. You know what these legal types are like? Yes, sir.
Should we watch this, or should we just skip to racing?
Needless jargon, sir. Anyway, believe it or not, this is my excited
Let me turn the music down, because I want to hear this a little bit better.
So, all the usual stuff, merchandising, likeness, blah, 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 but the really juicy stuff is their expectation of you. They need you to challenge yourself all season, be the best you can be, dominate your teammate, become a legend.
Do you know who you're talking to right now?
All that jazz.
Become a legend.
Now, it's over to you.
How many? What is it? 4 titles in a row or 5? How many titles? Yeah, he's won 4. He's going for 5. Yeah, that's something. That's a big part of why I was actually really happy to hear about that for this game. They're doing an expansion in there, and then hopefully in 2027, if they are releasing a new game, which I believe is what they say they are, they do put more effort in towards... It's still got to be fun, but put more effort in towards simulation. Because I will say this game plays like an arcade game, meaning you have to have some level of TC and ABS on. And these cars in real life don't have TC or ABS. So if you turn TC and ABS completely off in this game, it feels like it's an intentional challenge. These cars have an insane amount of grip. And yet, when you turn off traction control and ABS in this and you put the car on softs, you can't give it any level of throttle in a turn, and you can't even touch the brakes without locking everything up. It feels like forced difficulty for the sake of it just being a challenge. So me personally, in this game, I leave ABS on and I like TC on medium. You can run full TC, but I feel like it makes it so easy that it's really like, if I know I'm going out there with a reckless group of people, like a bunch of my friends who are going to be, not very challenging, I'll leave TC on full for the sake of not accidentally spinning myself out driving around hooligans. So anyway, set target rating. Adjust the options to create a new contract. The team will expect you to reach the RTG target you set for yourself before the end of next season. Sure. I assume that makes it more forgiving. Oh, okay, yeah, so it's increasing my bonus, so we'll just do all defaults. I'm going to play this game in its most hand-me-down state. Hold to sign. Sign away your life, sir. Wonder if they'll have caddy? Maybe. I'm hoping that they do more with this, because I do like it, the F120 EA's variant of this game. It's fun. It's an arcade game. There's no denying that. The difficulty settings alone prove it's an arcade game. For example, yesterday I played AC Evo for a bit, and I jumped in the F1 car. That alone felt 10 times... Mind you, it's AC Evo. That experience alone felt 10 times the real experience of an F1. Not that I've ever driven them, so again, I'm speaking from purely speculation and knowing and how these cars operate from a technical standpoint. There was no ABS, there's no TC. And the thing is that it had grip. So you really had to abuse the pedals to, say, completely just start spinning tire or push straight through the brakes, Grip is incredible in an F1 car. All right. No, I didn't. Stop advancing time. Stop it. Specialists. Complete the race weekend. Alright, we'll go with that. Exactly. It's what it's for. It's for fun. And I mean, the reality is that I think people need to chill out about simulation, because fun needs to be the goal no matter what. Because I'm sorry, out of the hundreds and thousands of people that are racing in simulators or have simulators, less than 0.1% of you have a shot at being a real race car driver. Unless you already are a real race car driver getting into a sim, you are not going to start in a sim and become a real race car driver. It's just not going to happen. It's the reality of it is that it's winning. It's a smaller, there's a higher chance, but it's winning the Powerball. If you're that person that goes and buys their lottery ticket every week because you're going to win, okay, whatever helps you sleep at night. That's the reality of it. Now, don't get me wrong. The chances are much higher, especially if you're not chasing big race car dreams. You're just trying to get into the little league stuff. But it's the point is that the reality of the situation is you need to be the upper 1%. You need to be young. You need to be a kid. So, kids are obviously playing video games, but you need to be young. You need to be the upper 1%, and you need to know people. Knowing people is half the battle. Because typically when you know about something, like for example, you know, the Martinborough story. He didn't know anybody. But that was a thing that was happening before a time when it was considered the thing to do to try and get into real racing. You know, the more time, it's kind of like YouTube, for example. If I started what I'm doing now on YouTube 15 years ago, this would be a multi-million subscriber channel doing the exact same thing that I'm doing right now, just from years and it being not as common, you know? Whereas now doing what I'm doing is much more of a grind because there's so many other people that are doing the exact same thing. And that's the difference between Martinborough versus everybody else in a sim racer right now with goals to be the next Martinborough, you know? Anyway. I'm not trying to be all negative for you guys out there that are young and wanna be the next greatest thing, but I'm just speaking to you in realistic expectations. Have fun first. And also, I don't care. We reviewed our contract. We're good. I didn't read the fine print. I probably got screwed in some way. Where's my audio here, or is this just animation? Exactly. So, like, don't get me wrong. I'm going to continue to do this. And I'm pretty positive for the most part about growth and all that stuff. And yeah, it's going to be a struggle in the beginning because of switching niches. You know, as you can see, the subscriber count that I have is mostly motorcycle related content. So jumping into sim racing stuff because it's what I want to do is going to completely halt that restart of the YouTube, you know, and I'm cool with that. You know, if nothing happens from this, then nothing happens from it, but I'm going to keep doing it anyway because I enjoy it, you know, and I have the flexible time to do that because I'm self-employed. So, the reality is though, is that you have to, in all fields, to piggyback off of what you just said, you have to figure out a way to get the spotlight on you, be it personality, be it pure skill. I've noticed, just to talk specifically in, say, streaming, since we were talking about YouTube, and that is, you know, you have the Dr. Disrespects of entertainment where they're not really good. They're average. They're I would say for someone who, with the amount of time playing video games, he's average. He's nothing special. But his entertainment is what puts him up here. And then you have the pure skill set style streamer where they don't say a whole lot. They don't do a whole lot. There is very, very little effort put into the stream quality, but they are so skilled, everybody watches them for the skills, you know? So you really have to pick and kind of choose, do you want to be entertaining? Do you want to focus on your production? Or do you want to be extremely talented? Well, unfortunately, the system in play is going to decide that for you, you know? So for me personally, I'm more of a talker. I like to talk to people, you know? I like to have an opinion when we're talking about things. So already right there off the rip, better off going for the entertainment route because I like to talk. There's nothing for me more boring when I'm watching someone stream and they just don't talk. Now, if they were extremely talented, that would be a sub category for me, but I usually try and put, like, is this person entertaining first? Are they putting an effort into their stream, their YouTube, whatever? And that would be step one for me. Do I like following this channel? And then, like, they could be terrible at a game. I couldn't care less if I'm entertained by them, you know? You have to kind of figure that out. And that's the, you know, the turning of the knobs and twisting the things like that to figure things out and where you want to go. Casey Kerwin versus Broadbent. Broadbent is an example of success. Now, I'd actually, believe it or not, I don't know who Casey Kerwin is. I'm going to have to look that up. Oh, so I'm assuming Casey Kerwin is just a talented iRacer. And Broadbent is obviously the example of entertainment. Which would explain why I know who Broadbent is and not Kerwin. Yeah, sim racing Verstappen, basically. Yeah, exactly. And it's a shame that I don't know who Casey Kerwin is personally. But after my time is sort of a thing. Remember, I'm 38, so... Yes, sign away my contract again. Yes. I didn't read the fine print. You're probably going to take half my paycheck out from underneath me, and I don't know, but I just want to do some racing. Let's see. Okay, so I signed my contract. My specialist, my one specialist is set. Yup. All right, now we got to advance time, I believe, to get to the next race. How do I get down to that? That scales me that way, but how do I move? What are my bindings? I don't even know. Dag nabbit. All right, you know what? Let's just advance time. Let's get to the race. Yep. Great. Fantastic. Can we race yet? Go to grid reveal. Yeah, see, I don't know. My problem is I don't follow iRacing, so I don't know the iRacing gurus yet. I'm sure at the rate we're going with friggin' sim games, I'm probably going to be diving down the LMU or... Here's the thing. I know I keep harping on this, but... Is there supposed to be audio, by the way? Anyway, the reason why I keep harping on crossplay is because I really think that's the next evolution in sim racing. You know, everyone is focused. I think force feedback needs to chill the hell out. Now, obviously, these companies that are making wheels, they only have one goal: make a better wheel, or a wheelbase in this sense. But yeah, all right, so there is sound. But the reality of it is that I think we are going too far. We're focusing too heavily in one direction. Sim racing purists are becoming too pure to the point where, like, they're arguing over whose fictional reality is more accurate. And when the reality is, we're like the way force. Okay, so like, there's this massive like disagreement in how force feedback should be, and I'm on one side, and then there's the sim racing diehards on the other side, and that is the whole you don't have lateral G-forces, or any G-forces for the most part, in sim racing. Yes, you can spend a lot of money on motion to try and duplicate that, but the reality is the sim racing world their goal is to get real life G-forces into force feedback. And me personally, as someone who has raced cars and done a boatload of motorcycle racing and raced some very fast motorcycles, so I've experienced some realistic, insane G-force, trying to put that into the wheel is pointless. For me. Now, if you're the guy that wants to pretend that there's supposed to be some feedback in the wheel that simulates his body physically moving sideways, more power to you. If that's what makes you happy, sure. But I really think that everybody needs to chill out on certain things like that in sim racing and focus on, hey, how can we make this hobby better for people? Because everybody wants to, I shouldn't say everybody, but a lot of people want to gatekeep sim racing as if it's like some elitist group. And then there's other people that want it to get more attention. Well, sim racing, I hate to break it to you guys, is not going to get more attention. Look at Gran Turismo. Gran Turismo right now is the undisputed king of the world in terms of popularity and quote-unquote sim racing. I say that in quotes because it's an arcade game. Okay, you want to give it the benefit of the doubt and call it a simcade game, sure. That part is irrelevant. The point is, it is a video game that is on one single platform, and it dominates the market. From viewership, from purchases, everything. And it does that because it's ease of use and accessibility. So if you want, say, iRacing or LMU or your personal favorite title to truly be the best title, it doesn't matter how good the game is. Popularity determines that. Because you might think, just like I think I know what force feedback should be for me, because I want my force feedback to properly duplicate a real driving experience and not forced fictional reality. There are other people that agree, that are intelligent people that have the polar opposite opinion. So when it comes to what you think is the perfect sim, someone disagrees with you, and their counter argument is also valid because it's a good sim. However, I think for the most part, everybody is in unison when they say Gran Turismo is not the best sim. But it is clearly the most popular and the most flushed out racing game. There's the most to do. There's the most amount of hours to occupy. Unless you're chasing a ranking and a title and competition, that's all the other sims can give you right now, is the chase to be the best. Well, I hate to break it to you. You're probably not going to be the best. So keep it fun. Now, if you get better and better and better while having fun, great. And maybe someday that will go somewhere for you. But your focus needs to be having a good time with your time. Because if you're chasing being the best at something in a world that's dominated by people that, I'm sorry, are better than you, you're going to get discouraged. You're going to quit. That's not sim racing. That's everything in life. There's natural talent that are people are just blessed from birth with the ability to do something better than you. And then there's the people that have to work their ass off to pull it off. You know, I grew up wrestling. For me to be there, and I saw it so many times, the natural talent versus the people that work their ass off. And now either way, it was a toss-up who was truly going to win. However, the Max Verstappens of my world were the guys that had the incredible natural talent that worked their ass off. They were untouchable because they could do both. Whereas the guy with the natural talent could potentially beat the guy who works his ass off, and the guy who works his ass off could potentially beat the guy with natural talent. But whoever had both, they were the elite. And those are the Martin Burrows, the Verstappens, the guys that start at the bottom and actually get to the top. The only other ways to get to the top are, like I said, the nepotism side. You got to know somebody. And dumb luck with a lot of talent. A lot of talent. Anyway, I don't know where I get off on that. Oh, yeah, The Sims. Tangents, people. Tangents. I specialize in them. But for the sake of wanting sim racing to grow, crossplay is where it's at. LMU needs to get to PS5. It needs to get to Xbox. iRacing needs to get to console. Or at the very least, the consoles need to update their interfaces to be easier to build titles for. Whatever it takes. But crossplay is the future of this expansive world of video gaming. Especially sim racing. F125. A diehard arcade game. More popular than your favorite Sims. Go on Steam right now, concurrent viewership. It's not even close. This arcade game crushes your favorite Sim. And it's crossplay. Oh, chatbot just punished you. I don't know why I deleted all your comments, though. I don't see. This is all right. So Clippy, I don't know why I deleted all your comments. It should have only deleted the foul language one, because I do have that filter on to just keep things kosher. But I don't know why I deleted every one of your comments, because you had a lot of good things to add that I was trying to respond to. I saw that you say about how I would like LMU, which you're probably right. I would probably enjoy the LMU grind. But I do disagree on iRacing going to console. I understand why you wouldn't want it there. However, have you looked at the cost of building a computer these days? It's not getting better. It's only getting harder to do, while consoles are staying roughly the same. Yes, the most recent tariff situation increased the cost of consoles. Whether or not that is just a permanent price increase forever for things, and it's just factored into cost of living growth, or that comes back down. But the reality was, my PS3 that I bought brand new cost me more than my PS5. So for the most part, consoles are staying the same price. However, the computer I built in 2025 cost substantially more than the computer I built in 2017. And at the time, they were both built with flagship components. So my point of that is the barrier of entry into the computer world is getting tighter and tighter and harder. So, I mean, that's fine. If iRacing, you want to be the standout one for the PC, sure. But the reality is that if these companies want to, if people, everything from, I'm talking the top, from F1 racing, all of the major forms of racing, down to the bottom, if they truly want to be able to find the next gen best racer possible, I guarantee you some of the best racers right now who have the natural talent you're looking for, that next level natural talent, can't afford a computer. And that's the whole point of why sim racing is becoming this massive, wow, that's how it worked. Do you think Martinborough without Gran Turismo would be who he is today? The point is that he, while not the norm, was an example of how do I send out this thing into the world and find a great driver for my team? That's how. You make accessibility easy. You're going to get a lot of people who are terrible. You're going to get a lot of people that think they're going to be Verstappen, are going to be Martinborough, are going to be whoever, and they're going to be terrible, and they're going to quit, and that's fine. But the point is, everybody wants to find the best. They want to be the best. Well, how do you, if you can only have a select group of people compete, the reality of a situation is, now, I don't know I'm not going to pretend I know what iRacing takes from a hardware standpoint on a computer to run at a decent frame rate and have a decent experience, but I can tell you that what I have for a computer, most adults will struggle to find a way to justify paying for, let alone kids who make minimum wage or don't make money at all, for that matter, You're going to rely on nepotism for F1 racing if you don't have a way to reach people who don't have access. Like, what happens if Kimi or any of these younger guys stepped into a simulator, or say iRacing, or whatever you want, and they lost 10 out of 10 races to someone who doesn't even have a job, who's 12 years old, with an insane level of natural talent? Do you think they're going to not look at that kid? F1 is literally would be like, all right, we need to put this person through the paces and see if they're worth actually entertaining for the future. That person has zero chance without accessibility. I agree computers don't have to be more expensive. But the problem is, we as the consumer don't get to pick and choose that. So, when you, for example, let's just go on a quick computer tear. NVIDIA, for example. NVIDIA is dominating the market whether you like them or not. So, the best way I can explain it is NVIDIA is proactive in their business model. They chase the next best thing. They innovate it. AMD, who I'm pulling for, is reactive. They react to what NVIDIA does. They're not doing anything NVIDIA hasn't already done. Like, ray tracing comes out from NVIDIA. AMD makes their own version of it. DLSS comes out. AMD makes their own version of it. They're always second. They're always following the leader. Because of that, the cost just keeps getting driven up because they can't compete. One for one, AMD can't compete with NVIDIA. NVIDIA knows that. AMD knows that. However, AMD's business model has always been whatever NVIDIA's pricing is, minus 50. So we'll basically always drop down in price. Have you used an an Intel Arc card? They are good for the price, but at the end of the day, if these games that are coming out keep coming out the way they are, optimized, Intel Arcane isn't going to play anything. It might play iRacing. So if you're trying to build a computer for just iRacing, yeah, the barrier of entry and computer components is probably a little bit lower. But if you want to keep playing the next popular titles, you know, everybody keeps complaining about Project Motor Racing's graphics and other games' graphics. You're right. Their graphics are okay. There's not a whole lot of evolution there. But you know what happens with frame rate? With evolution? I played AC Evo yesterday. If I turn those graphics up to max, first of all, there's a lot of bugs in there. Like, for example, I'm convinced there's a memory leak because frame rate drops consistently, and I have to restart the game every, 15, 20 minutes to get my frame rate back. Clearly, there's a memory leak issue. But it's not. It's early access, so it's whatever. But the point is that while, yes, Project Motor Racing does have to optimize their game better, the point is that for the people who are complaining about wanting that next-gen experience, well, I hate to break it to you, but you can't afford it. And that's not meant to be a dig, but having your cake and eat it too is an expression for a reason, you know? So I would love, I'm a computer guy, but I have a PS5. I've had every game console that's ever been made. So I, at my heart, though, am a computer guy. I would love to have every one of my friends get a computer. Like a buddy of mine, he has a Sim, a pretty expensive one. He plays on PS5. He is a shining example of someone who he's too impatient to get into computers, technically, and he just doesn't want to spend the money because he's also somewhat of an elitist when it comes to having nice things. So he doesn't want to build an entry-level computer. He wants to build a badass computer. And he has the money to do so. He just doesn't have the motivation to want to do it. So a lot of people don't have the money to even build an entry level. Like, for example, there are people, and there are quite a few of them, that spending $500 to $700 on a game console is legitimately a hard thing to do because not everybody has money and it's a normal thing. Those people, do you expect them to build a computer? So I can already tell you this right now. Computers and game consoles are not one for one. They are not the same. If I had a PS5 Pro and I built a $750, I built it, not even paying markup, not pre-built stuff. I built a $750 computer. It would not compete with my PS5 Pro in gaming. My PS5 Pro would blow it away. And that simply comes down to they are not built to be the same because you are just comparing one thing. You're comparing video games. How well does your $750 PS5 Pro edit a video? Or do anything? There's a reason why you can't just be it on your PS5 Pro and stream to YouTube. You need a computer. So you can never compare the cost of a computer to a console as one for one and talk about just video games. Because the console's always going to do it better for the same price. Because it only does video games. You know? So, in my opinion, you have to start at $1,500 to get a PS5 Pro-like gaming experience. And the problem is, right now, you can't do that because of the temporary AI nonsense that's affecting memory prices. So no matter what, you're just in it's a pickle to get it. Like, there are so many good sims on computer. I have all of them except for iRacing. And yet, console has Gran Turismo, and it's the best from a popularity standpoint. And it's the worst sim from a simulation standpoint. The difference is accessibility. I can go out, I can buy a $500 PS5 or a $450 PS5. I can go buy a $60 game. I can go buy a G923 and a Play Seat Challenge collapsible seat and be just as good as the guy spending $40,000 on a simulation room with a badass computer, a top-tier rig, and all that stuff. Simply because he has natural talent. And I don't. So, the point of that is accessibility would make your favorite sim title shine bright like the diamond that it is. I would love, like AMS2, I would argue is less of a sim and more of a simcade. But in my opinion, if you were to everything that it does better than Gran Turismo 7. Everything. But nobody, if you don't have a computer, you don't even know that thing exists. Period. So, you know. And I'm right there with you with not knowing how people function with just a phone. I have had a computer. So I've had a computer since my first computer was 1994. I didn't buy it. It was my parents who bought it. But I was one of the people who used it religiously. I built my first computer in 1998 off of an old Hewlett-Packard Pavilion. And it was or I shouldn't say I built it in 1998. I started customizing in 1998, meaning I bought a video card for it, I bought RAM for it, I bought a sound card for it, and then that was all it took. I saw the money that I spent in 1998, which at the time was peanuts, because I was 11, and I was doing under-the-table work for my grandfather. But the point is, I bought those parts, and I saw an immediate, oh my God, my computer, my cheap computer couldn't do what my PlayStation could do. My PS1, before it was called PS1, it was PlayStation. And all of a sudden, it was crushing what my PlayStation could do. They weren't even comparable. That hooked me. That got me on the PC world. And I've been building computers ever since. So to answer your question, for me, like, I can't even travel without my laptop. I need, as much as I hate Windows, I need Windows. I need the interface that I understand. How people use this and edit videos, let alone play video games. First of all, my thumbs cannot do what my hands and feet and everything else can do. Hey, guess what? My Sparko wheel arrived. That's exciting. It's not going to make me any better at anything. Let's see. Yes, you're right. I can't say much when I'm already bought into it. Are you talking about the Intel Arc or Computer World? I just couldn't imagine not having a computer. I mean, I built a whole home lab. I don't know how people function with just a phone. There's so much I can only get done out of the desktop. Exactly. You know, so right now, I don't know how to tell someone to build a computer for under $2,000 that's going to be worth the experience they're looking for. Because first of all, I don't want to tell someone to buy junk components because it's cheaper just to do it. So I want to tell you, all right, I want you to get this kind of motherboard. It's a decent motherboard. I want to get this CPU because you don't want to be replacing your CPU immediately. And then the GPU is ridiculous. Now memory is ridiculous. Well, you want to get a good power supply because you don't want the power supply to take a dump on you. And all of a sudden now, you're out. Your computer doesn't work because your power supply is bad. So for me, like, I tell my friends that are adults anyway, don't build a computer until you can spend $2,500 on your computer. And if you want that truly, this crushes my game console. Like, because like when I play PS5, like when I got a Gran Turismo set, which mind you, shout out to Polyphony. Not that they need my shout out, but their engine kicks ass. When I jump on Gran Turismo, so for example, I just jumped on Gran Turismo 7 yesterday too on a controller, just to see what the update was and all that stuff and check it out. And when I did a couple of races, I looked at it and I'm just like, it's incredible that their engine looks like this on the hardware that I am using, that is PlayStation. Because everything else I play on PlayStation looks awful. I played Spider-Man 2 on PlayStation. My eyes hurt the whole time. It was so blurry because they couldn't throw any resolution at it to try and get a 30 to 60 frame experience. You know? So, and meanwhile, mind you, my computer is not the norm, but I boot up Spider-Man 2 on my PC, and the frames I'm getting with the what I'm seeing, it's like it doesn't even remotely come close to comparing. And yet Gran Turismo 7, in my opinion, is comparable to a lot of sim titles on PC at absolute maximum graphics. So their engine's awesome, and they've got it locked down. And I can understand why they wouldn't want that to go to PC, but at the same time, just do it. Just do it. You want to sell copies of Gran Turismo? The problem is you got to figure out, though, how much are they being paid by Sony to hold that license versus how much are they going to gain from losing that license cost and allowing everybody access to their game? What's going to make them more money? They've probably done the math, and they've probably found out that Sony's going to pay them more. No, just that I've invested that cash into a PC now. Yeah, that's the way you got to do it, though. I mean, like, I tell people all the time, too, especially if you're buying pre-builts, you're eliminating the best part of a computer. Building and customizing it yourself. Learning, understanding, enjoying it. Real quick, before I jump into this F1, I am going to do a quick little live unboxing of my new Sparko wheel. I hope this is decent. I hope it's decent. Hold that phone. All right, what's this thing gonna look like? Oh, hold on, let's go live. So, let me just do this quick. Get this out of my way. So, I have the Simagic ecosystem, and I'm not gonna lie, their wheels are pretty low on the totem pole. So, we have our official Sparko box. Around. What's it gonna feel and look like? It is ice cold. All right. So far, yes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So it's basic. It's super basic, but it's exactly what I needed. So I bought the obviously the Simagic wheel. I bought it with the leather round wheel, and it's basically there's a lot of plastic in that rubber, I'll say that. Or leather, I should say. And then I bought their Alcantara wheel because I'm an Alcantara guy. Like, at the end of the day, that's what I'm into. You know, I know that's another thing that people don't like, but sorry, I don't give a shit. I had a Boss 302 that had an Alcantara wheel on it, and it was one of my favorite driving experiences, just holding the wheel. So this is essentially the exact same shape. What will I use this for? Any round wheel game. So I do a lot of round wheel stuff. So, for example, Project Motor Racing, 787B. My favorite cars to drive in that game require a round wheel. They do not use a track wheel. You can use them with a track wheel because you can obviously use any wheel. But for me, yeah, this copies. So I really liked the Momo wheel for the Logitech wheelbase. Man, this thing is heavy duty. I will say this might, well, I don't think it's going to matter with this wheelbase, but I will say this will definitely eliminate a little bit of force feedback because this is this is a real wheel. This is not a sim racing wheel. This is a car wheel. But, man, that's a thing of friggin' beauty. So, another thing, the Simagic wheel was $60. The Alcantara one. It was glued together. It wasn't stitched, which is fine. The glue works, but the Alcantara was falling apart inside of 2 days. 2 days of me just holding the wheel with gloves on, without gloves, it didn't matter. It was fraying and falling apart, and then it started to peel where the glue was. I threw it out. I was considering giving it away or selling it for a real cheap amount. I'm like, honestly, I feel like my name is attached to this sale. I can't sell it. It's going to go in the trash. And that's exactly where it went. So also too, I put up a short today of Project Motor Racing, and which, by the way, on maximum graphics, I don't know if you guys know the difference between DLSS and DLAA, but they're both NVIDIA's versions. One is an upscaler, one is a native 4K, and it's their own anti-aliasing, so it chugs up some frames, but it looks great. Anyway, I put up a video today. Actually, I'll show you quick on stream. It's a short. It's essentially just me doing. I'm driving like an idiot because, you know, I'm focusing on what I'm doing, which is making sure I'm capturing everything correctly. Let's see, studio, where are we at? Oops. All right, so let's put this on screen. So this is the frame rate. This is max settings. This is pretty much peak hardware, right? And we're getting natively real, we're not upscaling. We're not doing anything to manipulate frames. Also, we're losing about 10 to 15% of our frame rate by using Streamlabs to record this. Streamlabs eats up CPU. And this game is CPU heavy, likely because it doesn't use all the CPU cores. It probably only uses two cores at most. So CPU usage will affect this game. The point is that this is max graphic settings, and we're running 4K DLAA. And DLAA, if I turned that off, it would still be 4K, but it would be a lot more aliased, and it wouldn't look nearly as good, but we would get some frames. The one visual bug that there's nothing I can do about, and you can see happening here, is the pop-in from the shadows. I am rendering 200% distance. I have everything maxed out, but there's nothing that adjusts shadow rendering. Shadows need to render all the way out. Give me a slider. I have a 5090. Let me crank it, so that I don't see that, because that is distracting to me. But outside of that particular distraction, there is some lighting stuff they have to fix with the cars. But other than that, this in-game looks really, really good. Really good. This grass looks incredible. The road looks incredible. The car detail looks incredible. Everything looks good. This looks... Anybody saying AMS2, which is, by the way, one of my favorite games, looks better than this, they're being blinded by the fact that there's like a realism filter over this that sort of like dulls and muddies the coloring. But AMS2 is more vibrant. The graphics are not better. That is a filter. A modder can change the filter on this, and all of a sudden they'll be like, oh my god, you did such a great job. The graphics look so much better. No, you didn't. You applied a filter that makes everything more vibrant. You basically took your TV and changed it from standard to vivid picture quality. So anyway, the game looks incredible. I mean, sorry, the visually looks incredible. But there are some visual things happening in it that make it look ugly. And the filter is a realism filter. If you, again, change the color palette of that game, all of a sudden, I guarantee you so many people would be harping on how much better it looks. Well, I was questioned. The only comment I got on that so far was asking me about why is the frame rate only what it is. I played AC Evo yesterday. I attempted to put that thing on max settings. I would chug down into the 40s. I would get 200 frames, and I would chug into the 40s when I had to render grass. I had to turn off all grass rendering to get a decent frame rate in that. And I couldn't run it at 4K DLAA. And I can't run any level of anti-aliasing. I can get way better frames. That's what people don't understand about what you can do with a computer in terms of its ability to adjust your frame rate. If I cranked up AC Evo to absolute max the way I just did, I would get terrible frame, and it's a awful experience. Now, yes, would I like to see 200 frames? Of course. But here's the thing. They could change the color palette, or a modder could do that. It's very easy to do, and it would have no effect on frame rate, positive or negatively. The only visual thing happening in the game that, for me, is not good is the shadows pop in, which I understand why that would happen on console. That's fine. You do what you gotta do to keep the frames. But with what I have, I need a slider to be able to push that further all the way out, so I just can't see the shadow pop in. If it's on screen, it's pre-rendered, you know? Also, too, shader compilation. This game, one thing that I notice a lot of Sims don't have, like real Sims, not the games, is they don't have any shader pre-compilation. So basically, the first time you boot up a game, there's usually some textures that will get installed every time you do a graphics update or a graphics driver update, stuff like that, that will always re-update when you first turn the game on for the first time. What happens is a lot of games don't do that, so they happen on the fly. So they come across as a stutter or resolution popping in and things like that, or textures popping in, things like that. And then they only happen one time. This game, along with many others, do not do it. And it's a bit frustrating because it would take about, the first time you boot the game up, it takes about 3 minutes. Call of Duty does it. You know? Every time you first, on PC, when you first boot up Call of Duty after a fresh driver install or installing the game or whatever it is, or an update, it has you do a shader compilation. It says pre-compiling shaders at the top. And that'll say, they give you a percentage bar. But anyway, I am one of the minimalistic people that thinks Project Motor Racing looks very good, at least at max settings. I do notice a lot of people on computer don't know how to configure graphics, and they talk about how bad something looks. I had one guy I was watching say this game looks terrible, and he didn't have any aliasing on. And it was playing at 1440p. And it looked dreadful. The fence posts look like static electricity because there's no aliasing on. And you're at 1440p, which resolution is naturally anti-aliasing. But the point is that all these settings are in place, and knowing how to configure them makes the game look better. Lighting needs improvement. The lighting on the cars doesn't make sense the way it's like refracted. That needs to get fixed. The shadow pop-in needs to get fixed. And then the rest of it is literally just a filter. If you want to make it look real, you're going to have to deal with it looking sort of like stale the way it looks. But if you want your average person playing it, especially a console player, what does Gran Turismo look like? Vibrant. Everything pops in. Colors. Everything is nice. The real world doesn't look like that. But everybody likes it, and that's the bragging point. The realistic thing is that if you truly want a real sim, you would hate it. Because everything would be terrible. The noise complaints about Project Motor Racing. Yeah, you ever heard gear whine in real life from a sequential transmission? I don't care how loud, you can run open exhaust. All you hear is gear whine. It's like a constant noise in your ears that pisses you off. Gran Turismo focuses on taking the good sounds and playing only those, and they take the bad sounds and they make them very, very, very quiet or just not there. People like that. You got to pick your battles. Do you want it to be real or do you want it to be enjoyable? Because real isn't enjoyable. I'm going to swap my wheel now. But I do agree, for my hardware, Project Motor Racing should have a higher frame rate. But I also think your favorite title should as well. Speaking of realism, I'm realistically going to be using an Allen key to swap my wheel when I have the actual real life tools that would make my life a lot easier. So I want to say this wheel is going to add about 3/8 of an inch of offset, so it's going to put the wheel a little bit closer to me, which is fine. I might just have to make an adjustment. So anyway, what are you guys up to today? What do we think is the best looking racing title? I'm not going to say sim. What do we think is the best looking racing title right now across all platforms? Gran Turismo, F1, your favorite PC game specific. What do we think is the best looking one? Like, for example, I think ACC looks great, but it doesn't look realistic. The actual textures, the visuals, all of that looks realistic. The color palette's not realistic. I'm going to have to get into AC mods, that's for sure. I have spent zero time with that. I've played a lot of AC, the base game, which, I mean, it's a, you know, there's a reason why the modders exist. But some of the mods I've seen for AC, I can't tell if it's AI rage bait or not because it looks really good, like disgustingly good. And I'm like, in my brain, I'm like, did a modder really do that? Or is this just some AI nonsense slop that's coming across my feed? What do you think is the best looking mod for AC right now? Let me ask you that. Like right now, you wanted to convince me that something is the best looking thing that I would experience on my PC. And I have the hardware that I have. So the sky is the limit on what I want to use. What would you recommend? Run on much traffic driving. My this guy I know does no Hesse or whatever it's called, which is, from my understanding, a complete hooligan traffic game. Oh yeah, there's a substantial weight difference here, and there is an offset difference, but that's actually not bad at all. I'm not even going to move my wheel. There's a little bit more of a reach for the paddles, but I'll be honest with you, I really don't use the paddles. I was considering taking the paddles off, but I'd rather just leave them there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now we're feeling official, boys. Staring at a thing that says Sparko, and it's real. I almost bought a Fanatec Sparko wheel, but they're still not made by Sparko. They're a collab. You gotta be careful of that stuff, because the collabs, it'll still be like a nicer quality wheel because it's gotta have a name on it, but it's not made by them. Like, this is a Sparko wheel. This is made by Sparko. The Momo wheel on the Logitech is made by Momo, not made by Logitech with a Momo brand on it. You know. So if you're into that stuff, the reality is if it's a decent wheel, that's all that matters. Doesn't matter who makes it. You know. But for me, if I'm going to I'm weird. If I'm going to throw a brand on something, it's got to be real, you know? Because the other option was I take this Simagic logo and I turn it around and I put a Sparko badge on it and I call it a Sparko. You know, I like the Logitech stuff, but they really messed up with their hub by making it so specific to what wheels you can put on that hub. If they just did what all the other brands did and gave you a much easier ability to bolt any wheel to it, all of a sudden, all of the complaining about Logitech's ecosystem would go away. Like, overnight. Because their pro pedals are good enough. Like, yeah, they don't, in my opinion, for their user base, they don't need better pedals. But, they absolutely need more wheels. 100% more wheels. Like, I went on Sparko's website and I picked up a suede, as they would call it, R330 wheel for a car. And I'm bolting it on right now. And that's it. It works. And I can get any shape wheel I want. I really want an MPI wheel, but I need to get another hub because doing this here, it's fine every once in a while, but constantly swapping. Now, mind you, if I got my little no torque zip gun and didn't use an Allen key like a child, you know, this would be 10 times easier, or faster, I should say, because this is easy. Obviously, it's just annoyingly long to do. I'm also doing it in what I perceive as the dark here. Like, I'm probably, as ridiculous as it sounds, I like to put my girl in this rig to have her do some laps and some things, and when I have my friends come over, same thing. So, rather than swapping this wheel back on for them to use, I'll just buy another hub. Not cheap, but conveniences never are. I'm a dweeb, so I play Forza and just run the ring. There's nothing wrong with that. Honestly, right now in Forza's current state, it still does crash, which is annoying, at least on PC, but not a lot. Visually, I think it's beautiful. What keeps me from playing Forza is their audio. Their soundstage is awful. It's terrible. I don't know what they were going for with that, because it's not even realistic. It's just bad. It's just so. Real sounds in real life are a mix of a bunch of bad sounds and good sounds. It feels like Forza just put all the bad sounds in and really, really mute the good sounds. It's so hard to hear an engine. Yes. This is so exciting. So let me show you. Sparko. See, it's got a bit of a dish to it. It's 39mm offset, but it's about a ½ inch difference from the one that I had on it. The production Simagic one. I mean, this is a durable wheel. Like, I can tell you that this Simagic wheel is never going to come apart. I shouldn't say never. That's a bit of a reach. But because it feels like a cheaper quality in terms of a cheaper leather, I know I'm not going to wear through it. Oh, this is so good. I'm so happy about this. As far as what I'm going to do with this wheel, a lot. Any level of drifting, any cars that are round wheels in real life. I do want to see if I can move those paddles in a little bit with a little bit of spacing, customization or something, making a bracket just to get them a little closer, but it's not a big deal. Like I said, I don't use them enough. I'm using this when I use a round wheel, I'm using an H pattern most of the time. So anyway, as cool as that is, we're not using it right now. That's what we're using. All right. What wheelbase are you using? I'm using the Simagic Alpha EVO Pro. The Nolan Fire. Yeah, it's I'm a big Alcantara fan. I know it's not popular, but the great thing about my opinion is that it's my opinion. It's not yours. All right, let's make this game work again. All right, back to working. Let's get that over there. So, all right, for the people that are watching right now, I'm going to do a couple laps in F1. Since the subject of this is a bit more F1, even though we haven't talked a whole lot about F1. We've talked about Verstappen and stuff and sim racing, but part of me wants to test out my nice new round wheel. do we want to see some F1 or something else? I'm going to leave that up to you guys. It's Friday. This is chill. It's a chill day. I am going to use the bathroom, though, so BRB. All right. So, let's get a race going here. What do you say, huh? Let's go for Stappy. Did I just call him for Stappy? Race weekend. All right, let's do this. Let's do our first race of the day. We've only been on here for an hour and 20 minutes. That's what I'm talking about. I'm a talker. So that's why I choose the attempt at being a bit more entertaining rather than talented. That is a crispy image, I'll say that. But it doesn't take a whole lot of hardware to run this game, so naturally. Native 4K. Looks pretty crispy. New record, hour and 20 before race. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll have a dedicated breakdown of my ramblings. So anyway, as you see up there, I did change my frame rate stats. It's now a bit more informative. GPU utilization, CPU utilization. However, I have a frame rate cap at 144, so the utilizations are kind of a moot point. All right, so workstation, messages. That's a big face on my screen. What? All right, cool. I gotta. Nope, didn't mean to do that. I'm gonna have to program. I don't know why there. I thought I already did that, but I guess I did not. I can't tab over. Like, I can't see my messages right now. How do I get there? That's that. Not that. Although that did bring me to my options, which is nice. Alright, so let's see. Controls. EJR. Edit. Alright, menu controls. So the bumpers are the first tab. Extra action is 1. Extra action 2 is 10. So let's try this. Okay. Alright. Now that's like that. Save that. Finally, I just got your Logitech base ready last night, but I wanted everything to be modular to where I could mount my console to the side of my cockpit, so patiently waiting on brackets. Just put that thing on the floor and play it, will you? Come on. What rig do you have? I could talk about that more than I could actually games right now. In my opinion, games are so unpolished. Hey, look at that. We got it. Mark. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care. All that to not care. In progress.
This graph charts the performance progress of all of the team.
Shut up, Mark. Alright. Go to next session.
Hello and a very warm welcome to a brand new season in Formula One. It's
Radio check, please. Radio check.
Yeah, yep.
Radio check.
Alright, session info. I'm curious to know how 1-for-1 this guy's voice is. Alright, I want to focus on... Is it not going to give me the option to... Oh, in-car setup. Here we go. Boom. Always maximum downforce. I shouldn't say always, but I am a max downforce user. Alright. And what am I on for tires? Oh, I'm on practice, though, so you know what? I don't care. Playseat trophy I got locally for cheap, so I'm going to rock it until picking up an aluminum rig. Nice. Hey, there's nothing wrong with the trophy. I had a lot of fun on the trophy. In fact, I might pick up one again for a second rig with a... I'm either considering getting the challenge or getting a trophy again. I really want the collapsible one, though, because I want to put a G923 on it just for Gran Turismo and for my girl to play. Oh, these are very cool. Like, this is a lot of fun. There's a reason why there's a lot of people playing them. Fun is what gets played. And it runs so good. Oh. You know what doesn't run good? Me. Sorry, Max. Making you look bad here. I do have to turn off TC to a medium here, but for the sake of... So it's one of those things where, like, alright, if I'm streaming right now and having conversation and I'm distracted, I prefer to have full TC on. But if I'm playing the game and want to have the most fun, I prefer medium TC. I never prefer no TC because it's not realistic in the opposite way. It's punishing for no reason. The same with the ABS. Like, I drove AZ Evo yesterday, and I drove their F1 car, which is Ferrari, and no ABS, no assists, and while it's obviously harder than full assist in this game, it's not that once you warm the tires up, you have to really be abusive on the brakes to lock the front tires up. Whereas in this, if I turn the ABS off, you can't race. It's like painfully difficult. Like, the whole point of it, in my opinion, of assists are to help you run faster, but when you turn the assists off, you should be able to go faster, it's just harder to do. Whereas I feel like in this game, if you turn ABS off, you can't go faster, no matter how good you are. That's where this game is an arcade game, in the sense where, which I'm okay with. I like arcade games. Fun fact, when Forza Horizon 6 comes out, I will be streaming the ever-living dog water out of that game. In my sim. And I'm going to have a lot of fun doing it. Provided it doesn't suck, of course. Which... we're on a pretty rough streak right now, in my opinion. Alright, I've done enough. Return to garage. I would love AC with mods. Probably. Japan's gonna be dope. I agree. I can't wait. Like, I am coming from someone who hated Forza Horizon 5. Am I in Brazil? Like, what is this? And, like, listen, I am not a political person. I am not someone who cares about what people care about. But when I pick up a racing game and I have to configure my racing game, when it asks me what my pronouns are as one of the first questions, I'm already checked out. You already missed the goal of what this game is. If you're playing this game and you're building a game where you're worried about offending someone based off of pronouns as priority number one, you're already not building the game I want to play. I couldn't care less if I'm a girl, if I'm a boy, if I'm a dog, if I'm a cat, if I'm an alien. I'm here for the cars, not the people. So I'm hoping that that person is now sweeping the floor. Whoever made that decision to make that be the first question, they're now sweeping the floor and making people coffee. And the people with actual development talent are the ones building Forza Horizon 6 to be a fun game. Because all I care about is fun. And not to mention, if you're worried about offending people and playing video games, you shouldn't play video games. Because part of playing video games is mastering the art of not giving a shit about what people think about you. Am I wrong? I might want to go one step up, because I don't know how good the AI is going to be. It's on automatic, by the way. I said all the recommend. Do whatever you got to do, video game. I don't care. Give me your experience. I think I am going to change it to increase downforce, though, because this track does punish you for, in the straights, because the straights are long. But I do think Japan's going to be dope. I started in F1 doing time trials against family members all day. It's fun. It's fun. I don't know what it's set to. I'm going to do this. If the AI is too slow, I'll turn it up. I don't even know. I'm here. We'll see. Let's see how I poll, or if I poll. I use the word poll too much. I think I like it. Is it just my headset? I know this game runs quiet, but is this game quiet in the stream compared to my voice too? Because this game runs just quiet. Is this practice 2 or is this quality? I didn't... The fact that I'm not running by myself tells me that this is not quality. I hope that wasn't AI, like, trying. Because if so, do I have the setting to AI off? Sounds good? Alright. Oh yeah, we're in quality because we're using DRS right now, or ERS, whatever. We're in qualifying mode. Excuse me, sir, I know you're on the cover and all, but you need to go faster. Thank you. It's been a minute since I played this against the, I'm having to remember when to brake and stuff. Hey, you want to piss off some force feedback F1 lovers? Watch my wheel in a second. This is going to really piss off some people. Most people shouldn't care, but people are weird. Ready? You notice anything? Alright, is this a race? What is this? I wasn't... See, this is the thing. I haven't been paying attention. Am I in practice? No, this is a race, it looks like. Like, I return to garage. Am I stupid right now? You can say yes. I won't be offended by any means. I don't know if... Oh, there we go. Oh, I know what I did. I'm still in practice. Okay, return to garage. Or am I? Am I losing my mind, folks? I wanted to go... Shure G5, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Gotcha, so I am in practice. Yes, I want to skip. Is it raining? Did you say it was going to rain?
And that's it. Practice is a...
I think I saw weather rain. Yep. 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 Turn the music up a little bit now. I'm streaming in 1440p. Yep, we're raining. Sick. Give it a bump. But yeah, it's unfortunate because like YouTube is just YouTube. Its compression is aggressive. Even 1440p looks bad, and I have a pretty high bitrate too. All right, let's run it. We're in the rain, so we're not going to have grip. I'll just leave it. Oh. Oh, Jesus. Woo! Maybe we should have went for max downforce. Because we are not liking the rain. I gotta drive this thing like it's a GT3 car. Gotta let out of the throttle. No one wants to let out of the throttle. Also, I only have it on cornering lines. It's like, oh my god. It's basically the whole track. Just some of the straight disappears. Like, look, gone and then right back. Oh boy, oh boy. I felt that slide long before it even happened. Hamilton, you know what, Hamilton, you can have this, buddy. You need the win right now. That just means I get to run through the pack now. Thoughts on new underpowered ZX10 and Gixxer? So the Gixxer is tactical. I like the Gixxer. Not for what I do, but for World Superbike. I think that bike's at least going to be a nice... The ZX10,
We'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand
sort of a waste. You know, I feel bad for Hamilton. I really do. We live in a pretty... We live in a world where it doesn't matter how good you are, you're forgettable. And the fact that, like... The fact that Hamilton is, you know... Like, when he made his, yeah, the weather's nice. When he was saying about how he's just not looking forward to it anymore, like, I felt that. Because in the motorcycle world, like, you know, once upon a time, I was doing some things that other people weren't doing, and now it's like, newer people have moved in, things, you become, like, forgettable, unless you're out there every weekend at every meet, doing the racing, doing the work. You get forgotten quick. So I get he's having a bad time right now, and I understand the sentiment of just kind of looking forward to not doing it anymore, you know? And honestly, if I were him, I would consider retirement, not because I think there's anything wrong with his driving. It's just he has nothing left to prove. And like, you've already been world champion. What's next? Be it again? The best case scenario? When not many people are rooting for you? You know? It just sucks to retire on such a bad season. But I don't blame him. I blame Ferrari. Like, you need a good driver and you need a good car. Anybody who says one is more important than the other is wrong. It's just that it's factually, objectively speaking, it's wrong. The whole package was always what's going to win. Max needs a good car. A good car needs Max. Period. End of conversation. Like, case in point is Lando Norris and McLaren. Now, my honest guess, this is my genuine honest guess. I don't know what's going to happen. No one does, obviously. I don't know why I even said that. I think Lando's going to choke. All he has to do is just stay in front of Verstappen or be pretty close in the pack. I think, what does he have to come in? Was it like Verstappen has to be first and he has to be fourth or something like that? What's the actual place he needs to come in minimum to secure? Just be quiet. So I take it you want Norris to win? I don't even know what my race strategy was or what tires I'm on. I have not been paying attention to this. I think it was fourth. I'm pretty sure Norris has to come in fourth place. Or is that the minimum he has to come in to win, or the first losing position? But, okay, this is my reason for saying I think Norris is going to choke, and it's nothing against Norris. It has to do with pressure. There is, at the end of the day, if you think Verstappen has pressure on him right now, you don't understand sports and competition. Norris has everything to prove. Everything to prove.
The winter is over.
He is under
It's
far
time
more
for
pressure
Formula
than
One
Verstappen is.
2025. Yes, that long break that you've all
Verstappen's
been
won 4
hoping
titles in a
for
row,
can now be
and a few races ago, he was counted out. He even counted himself out. Maybe that was a poker face, but point is he verbally was like,
it's
not looking good, boys. So, all right, we don't care. I said we don't care. We still don't care. Can I speak?
Okay, mate. Radio check, please. Radio check.
Yeah, radio check.
Radio works fine.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Okay. So, Norris has all the pressure on him because if he doesn't win, it will just be one more year that Max won. His potential win will be relegated to he choked. If he doesn't win, he doesn't come in second place. He's the guy who choked when he had a massive lead on Verstappen. Whether he choked or not, whether it's all his fault or not, because the car thing wasn't his fault when he got DQ'd 2 races ago. That's the team. The team messed that up. So, like, none of that will be remembered. Obviously, the people who care about the details, they'll remember. But the average person, this is going to be the year that McLaren choked. McLaren and Norris choked. They didn't get the win. That's all. And it'll be just one more year that Verstappen won. However, if Verstappen wins, it will be one more year, to him I'm saying, it'll be one more year that he won. Okay. If he loses, hey, everyone's got to lose. There's always next year. Now, when you start, like Hamilton losing, go from as many times as he won, which I believe was, 7 times, to not having won, at this point, there's a lot more defeat in him. He's not racing to his potential anymore. The car's problematic. Unfortunately, I think he's done. At least with Ferrari, anyway. And if I were him, he has nothing to prove, so he should just retire. Not because I think he's washed up or anything. I just think that you've got nothing left to prove, buddy. You're good. There's many more things in life. Go experience those things. But if Max loses, Max's pressure is that, oh, well, I lost. There's always next year. When he starts, losing 5 times in a row, okay, now he can start having more pressure. But Norris and McLaren needs to win because that will be something. Whereas Max winning is just another win. There's no pressure. I shouldn't say there's no pressure. There's just not it's fractional compared to the pressure on Norris right now. So now maybe Norris will prove that he's far superior to the average person mentally, not skill set wise behind the wheel, but mentally. The pressure means nothing to him. He's going to go out there. He's going to win this race. And he's not even going to think twice about it. Maybe he'll be that guy. But I personally think he's a young guy. The pressure's going to get to him. Age is a bigger thing more than anything else in sports. No matter how good you are, age. For example, the biggest thing that I have, if I could compare myself right now to myself in college when I was at my peak competing in wrestling. Mentally, if I could put my brain right now into my physical body in 2006. Just saying that. I would be 10 times the wrestler I was in 2006. My body can't do what my body could then, but my brain has evolved with its age, Whereas the number one person who could beat me in my prime was me. I could psych myself out with no reason. Now, it's way more casual. The pressure's not there. I don't care. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to kick your ass, but I'm going to have fun. Whereas then, I was that guy that if we went to a team practice or multi-team practice, I could 1v1 your best and probably do pretty good or tune them up. that same person in an actual match that counted, I could psych myself out and I could get tuned up by that person. So I'm using that as a point of reference for Norris. Norris is young. He could this weekend is really going to see how he handles pressure. You know, he could get into the perfect car. It won't matter. He is going to be the determining factor for if he can win or not. McLaren's going to I have a feeling McLaren as a car, they're prepped for this race. I could be wrong. I could be full of shit and don't know anything. I'm playing a video game. Who am I? You have to have ESPN2 in order to watch F1 Grand Prix on Sunday? I honestly don't know. I would just Google that instead of asking me personally, because I don't. If I usually watch things on YouTube or at friends' places. I don't pay for ESPN. I don't have ESPN. I'll say that, and that's the short version. McLaren is trying to function with a top-tier car and midfield level team. Agreed. But honestly, if you could put Verstappen in that McLaren right now, God, I feel bad for the rest of the pack. I'd like to see Hamilton in McLaren's car right now. I mean, he needs a confidence boost regardless. It doesn't matter what. You can put him in the world's greatest car right now. He's checked out mentally, so until he gets back in the right headspace, you know, he's not going to do anything special. Oh, speaking of Norris, this is convenient. Let's hope this isn't the real race. Well, I don't really care. I don't have a dog in the fight. I like both guys. I like Verstappen. I think he's a... You know, I love it when people try and rage bait with, like, someone in the pits yelling at someone else. Like, you clearly have never been around competition in your life. I've said some of the most ridiculously vile shit to some of the people I respected the absolute most that I would buy a beer. In the heat of the moment competition, I say a lot of stupid shit. Ooh. Yeah, figured I'd get aggressive and cut that corner, and because it's F125, it allowed me to. Oh, I might have messed this one up, though. Yep, definitely did. But the AI threw in the towel. I wonder what the AI settings on right now. They don't seem very slow, but they're not very aggressive. The fact that he gave that up. Oh my god, that was terrible. Let's see. F1 app or ESPN, I'm pretty sure. Piastri is solid. Piastri is definitely solid, and he's quiet, too. That's a big respect factor for me. Just shut up and do your job, you know? The Kimi Antonelli stuff was pretty vile, though. Oh, no, I agree. I'm not justifying that. I'm justifying the driver-to-driver shit. Like when you see Verstappen yell at Norris, or Norris yell at Verstappen, or whatever. That's competition. But the death threats and stuff from fans, from Kim, like, that's... You all need to, like... You all need to realize you're sitting on a couch eating potato chips. You're a nobody. Shut up. Be a nobody. Let the people who are somebodies be somebodies. Yeah, that stuff is has no place, in my opinion. I'm sorry. I don't care if it's realistic or not. I absolutely will remove the front portion of the halo. I need to be able to see where I'm going.
Okay, Max, we've got some clear track around us now, so let's use it and make this next lap a quick one. Let's go.
Yeah.
I do look forward to getting the Zeus wheel for this wheelbase when it comes out. I like this wheel a lot. So I'm hoping the Zeus wheel, it's obviously just going to be expensive, but I'm hoping the Zeus wheel is the same level of quality as this thing with just a massively expansive control system. I'm hoping another subject, Project Motor Racing gets a patch real soon, because it's losing momentum. Like, I'm still having a blast with it. I'm actually having a really good experience with it. I am very much in the minority. But, like, I'm seeing people make videos about problems. It's like, what are you doing? Like, these are just not, like... The biggest problem with the computer world is that the user... most of the time is the problem. The console stuff is justifiable. It's a console. Boot it up. If it doesn't work, that's on you. Computers, though, oh my god, it drives me nuts. It's like you are riding the wave for views to hate something, because right now I could make videos thrashing Project Motor Racing and get way more views. But I'm enjoying it, so I'm not going to do that. So the things that I'm seeing people post about for, like, problems, that's a you problem. Like, there are guys that are talking about, like, frame rate issues where it's like... I get no stuttering. Like, the game does not stutter for me. Period. In fact, like, the frame rate is pretty solid. In terms of, like, whatever the number is, it stays there. So, like, if I'm getting, I don't know, 70 frames, I'm going to get 70 frames the whole time. Plus or minus 5, you know? There's not a massive, like, for example, that's where AC Evo felt broken to me. I'm getting 200 frames, and next thing you know, I'm getting 100 frames. And I'm in the same race. What's going on? Now, again, that's not meant to be a comparison, because one's in super early alpha, and one is a full release, although... I could make the argument that those titles are nonsense, and Evo has been out a lot longer, so therefore has an advantage. But that wouldn't go over well because of the marketing team from Project Motor Racing and the cost of the game. However, the real, actual important data to compare the games is that Project Motor Racing's been out for a little over a week. Evo has been out for quite some time now. And at the end of the day, your people playing your game are your best beta testers. Or alpha testers, beta testers, whatever. They're your best testers. But regardless of that, the only thing that really matters is that Evo is calling itself early access, and it's half the cost.
Yeah, very lovely that. Really good result. Yeah, we had good race pace. Very happy with that. Thank you guys. That's exactly the start to the season.
It's another victory
So they
and a
need it.
champion's performance from Max Verstappen.
Well, they kept us guessing during pre-season testing. We all wondered who it was going to be, and to have them drawn out here today, that they are the ones to beat, just goes to show that all the work they put in has really counted.
Brilliant.
Okay. Let's not act like we haven't seen this for the past 5 years. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was very much looking forward to playing Evo because I played point 3, and honestly, I might jump on PMR. Like I like this game, but
It's been an absolutely
I'm sorry. I just have fun on Project Motor Racing. It sucks. It's depressing me because no one's playing it. It's not worth streaming unless you're hating on it. It's just a bummer because it keeps being relegated to Ian Bell, and I understand Ian Bell is not going to be a likable guy, but who gives a shit? Elon Musk isn't a likable person, but Teslas are amazing. I don't know. It's just weird because the game is, now mind you, I know I have a horsepower advantage. I fully understand that, and I'm not the norm. But I know enough about computers to know that you can scale down my computer quite a bit and have a good experience on that game. I can double my frame rate. The video I posted today, that's not including frame gen. I'm talking about real, actual frames. I can double my frame rate if I scale it down. So, like, at the end of the day, if you're getting at least 60 frames, and it's a steady 60 frames, you can have a good time. What's going on here? Key 6? No, that's that. Oh, okay. The average computer is lower than I think. I mean, it's possible, but not for nothing. If the average computer is lower performing than a PS5, then it's not the game's fault. Because, in my opinion, when you engineer a game, the console is your lowest common denominator in terms of performance. Now, like, I would never play a video game on a PC looking for a worse experience than a console. And I know to do that, I need to spend more money than the console and have better hardware. Now, I'm not saying you got to have anything that I have. You shouldn't have to do that. In fact, I would never recommend you buy a 5090 or a 90 class card ever. You know, I would say stop at the 80 series. I mean, considering we're less than half the price for the 5080 to the 5090. I would actually recommend, like, if you're looking to spend some money and you want a good experience, get a 5070 Ti right now. 5070 Ti is the cost of a PS5 Pro. You know? So, but you're going to get a far better experience in a PS5 Pro. However, if you're trying to play this game on a 3050 or a 2050 or a 1050 Ti, or you're going back, like, I can't hold the game accountable to that. My whole thing is this. PS5 came out in 2020. If you're gaming on hardware that's older than 2020 and having a decent experience, you're getting lucky. Because I don't think the game should be built for you. Because I can't pick up my PS3 and play Cyberpunk 2077 on console. You know? Are you on a 5070 Ti or a 4070 Ti, Clippy? I'll try one more race. I do want to try a little bit of Project Motor Racing today. It sucks because, like, I have fun with this game. But it's harder for me to have fun doing this, even though this career is far more of a game. But the driving experience of Project Motor Racing is just fun. It's just fun, and there's no way around it. I have a good time with it. But I mean, I think it needs 1 to 3 more patches for me to jump into career mode confidently. And by confidently, I mean just to have a good experience, not worry about stupid things happening. But I could do it right now if I wanted to. I would just have to figure out the AI and how it scales next to the car I'm driving, because obviously it's not linear. 5070 Ti went from a 3080. Gotcha. Mentioned it before. I run a 3080 and run about 75 FPS with TAA. Not bad, but could do better. Try. Do you run DLSS? Because you'd probably have a better experience with DLSS on quality. TAA runs more like no A. TAA's most efficient. It usually is like it's like it's not on. But DLSS quality should get you a couple more frames. The biggest thing is where like the upscaling and the anti-aliasing factors can come in, whether which one works better or not, is your CPU to GPU balance. So if you have way less CPU than you do, is it blowing for me for some reason? It might be broken. That's interesting. I run DLSS on mine. Are you at what resolution you gaming at? I use the bathroom again. Feel free to respond anyway. Yeah, so 1440p is probably why. I would probably stick with TAA then. Simply because, you know, if you're playing at 1440p, even upscaling under quality is actually rendering at 1080p and then upscaling to 1440p. Whereas like when I run DLAA, and the only reason I would run this is something I wish they would adjust and patch in their software, but this is more of a bougie complaint. It's not, for example, so I can play the game the way I put up that video today, the short. I can play the game with DLAA 4K ultra quality maxed out and having a phenomenal experience. But when I stream, there will be times where I'm being petty. My frame rate will drop to like 100 to 110, and I really want to try and get to that 144 constant like I have right now because that's what my refresh rate is. I have access to frame gen. I like frame gen because I don't give a shit if it's real or fake. My eye perceives it as better. We're good. I don't care. So for me, for some reason in the game, you have to run DLSS to run frame gen. Which means you have to render at 1440p and upscale to 4K to run frame gen. And in every other game with frame gen, you can run it natively at 4K with DLAA and still do frame gen. So, mind you, I do think it's very comparable. But you can still see a little bit of a difference between DLAA and DLSS quality and PMR when playing at 4K. But what I would prefer is, because my frame rate's right there with DLAA. In fact, it actually works a little bit better because it leverages the GPU completely, whereas DLSS offloads the GPU to the CPU for some reason. Now, that could be the game, whatever. But the point is that like right now, sitting on the screen getting 144 frames, my GPU is at 90%. For me, if I'm using DLAA, that's parked at 100%. If I'm using DLSS, that sits at like 90. So the differences in performance is not existent. However, I can't use frame gen. Maybe it's placebo, but I can't stand frame gen. I love frame gen. And I love it because there is a very slight bit of artifacting. Very slight bit. You notice it on harsh edges where there is a big color difference. Like, for example, if I'm using if I'm on the hood of a white Mustang and the surface in front of me is darker, you'll see a white ghosted line. But if I change the color of the car to a darker color, the line goes away. But things like that are what happen with frame gen. They're hard to find unless you know what to look for. But at the end of the day, I'm sorry, you can't feel 1 or 2 milliseconds of response time. You're not. You can't feel it. Max Verstappen can't feel it. So, as far as the input lags, that's not a reason not to use it. Now, however, that will exponentially grow if your real frame rate is lower. So, like, let's just say I'm getting 120 real frames and I do 2x frame gen. You can't feel that difference. It's the exact same thing, except now you're showing 240 frames. However, if I'm getting 30 frames real and I do 2x frame gen and I'm now getting 40, that you will feel. Because you're not producing enough actual frames to mitigate the latency. So you feel the latency that much worse. I don't use it in Call of Duty. That's about the only thing I haven't. But I tell you, I can't feel it in racing. I can tell you this too, for something to compare it to. I have tried running I have an LG C4 panel. Relatively low response time, even when not in game mode. However, I tested Gran Turismo 7 in game mode, which is as low a latency as possible, versus your standard mode, which is average latency. I can make it slower, but I'm not trying to punish myself. I'm just trying to compare a slightly better visual quality by running it in standard mode versus game mode. I was 1 lap on the Nürburgring. I was 3 seconds off my pace with not being in game mode. And it was repeatable. Like, it was actually crazy to see how it directly affected me by 3 seconds. So I did 3 laps, 3 individual tests, no game mode. I used the car that I was very consistent with too, by the way, not just a random car. So I did 3 individual laps, charted my times with game mode on. Switched to standard mode, slowed down all 3 times by 3 seconds. Switched back to game mode, got my 3 seconds back. And that all came down to braking zones. I was braking late when I thought I was braking on time because of the latency penalty. That doesn't happen with frame gen. Frame gen, my times are identical, and I can't feel it. But frame gen wildly relies on a good base frame rate. So in the sense of me, where if I'm getting like 100 average frames, and I want to get, 144 to 240 because I have a higher refresh rate panel, and I want my experience to be a little bit smoother, I can activate frame gen and not feel it. But the lower the frame rate, the worse, all of a sudden that latency penalty will start showing its cards. Advanced time. Let's do one more race and I might jump into project motor racing. I don't know yet. Undecided. Yeah, I would. Tire allocation. During the qualifying sessions, only soft compound tires can be used. During sprint qualifying 1 and 2, only new set of medium compound can be used. Okay, whatever. I don't have to explain shit. Just send me in the game. This is casual mode. This is not try-hard mode. I guess I'll do one. I don't care enough. I'm doing this particular career mode for the sake of streaming, not for the sake of grinding something special.
Radio check, radio check.
Radio check.
Balance is fine. Damn it.
Don't push the car just yet. Track is still green.
No, the Build a Team career is, there's a couple different ones. There's the Connor Sport one, which is the storyline mode, where you are competing in real F1 as a fictional character, where it's all predetermined, everything like that. Then there's the F1 World, which is where I've spent most of my time, which is where you have your own actual car. It's multiplayer, it's whatever. There's all sorts of different races. You compete against real F1 people. But, oh yeah, this track I want to go. Alright, return to garage. I don't care. I want to switch this to max downforce. And then there's career mode, where there's lots of different things you can do in the career. I picked the most generic experience. I did not build my own custom character. F1 World is the most fun. In my opinion, that's where this game shines. That's where you can make your car faster and stuff like that, and there actually be some level of customization. Me, I'm just running a predetermined, like, entry-level career mode right now as Max Verstappen. Can I skip the practice? I don't want to practice. I don't want to do any practicing. I want to do qualifying and racing only. Alright, I guess I'll post a single lap. Wildly missed that braking zone. We're good though. I don't know why my brain was following the car. This is one of my least favorite tracks. I think what I might do right after this is jump into AC Evo and jump in the old Ferrari F1. Because I will say that I did enjoy. I did enjoy the physics of that car. But I will say, AC Evo might not... I hope it changes. I hope it gets better. But in its current driving state, I don't know if I'm going to like AC Evo. It's been one of my least favorite feeling physics of all of the Sims I've played. And that's coming from someone who likes ACC. I don't think ACC's is the best, but I like it. And I did not like AC Evo. I like AC1, I like ACC. They're all different, but I did not like AC Evo. Pick a stream to set up content manager? Maybe. Maybe. There's gonna be lots of streams, and I gotta do something with my time. I can't keep playing the same broken shit. You know? I could put a lot of hours in this, a lot of hours in PMR, but... I can put a lot of hours in all the nerdy stuff, too, like AC with content manager and stuff, you know? But my whole thing is like, yes, I want to have fun. That's number one. My number two priority after having fun with what I'm doing is this worth viewing from viewership standpoint? And that's where you unfortunately kind of have to look at numbers. Who's watching what? Now, obviously, once you get to the point of people watch you for you, then it doesn't matter. You just go live, people click. I am not that person. Maybe one day, years from now, maybe. But right now, no. So I have to be almost tactical with what I stream, you know? If I want to stand out from the other people at my level doing the exact same thing, who are better at the games, you know? But number one priority will always be fun. I will not stream things. I was going to stream AC EVO today. And then I jumped on it yesterday once during the day. I'm like, all right, I'll set up the stream for tomorrow, AC EVO. And then I played again later at night just to like kind of configure some stuff and see what I wanted to do. And I was just turned off. I'm like, I'm just not having a good time with this right now. For one thing, and now again, I know it's early access, so my critiques aren't necessarily justified from the developer's standpoint. But like, from a streaming, wanting to have fun, wanting to experiment with the game standpoint, I mean, you can't even, at least I couldn't find it, maybe I'm wrong, but you can't turn off damage, for example. And the cars feel like they have maximum damage applied. You bump the wall, that race is over. And in a game where you're trying to figure out the physics of the car, because it's all different, when you crash one time, your car's totaled, and you can't race, and you gotta restart. And the AI... Alright. Remember Project Motor Racing AI Day 1? That's their AI. That's fine, I can turn their AI off. I could go race online. Oh, you can't get online because there's server issues and this problem, that problem, this, that, and the other thing. Alright, so all of it's acceptable because it's early access. So no complaints from that standpoint. But from a having fun, streaming, and entertaining standpoint, it doesn't do any of them. I haven't had fun yet with AC EVO. I don't know if they're trying to do too many realistic things that are making it too serious for someone who just wants to get in and try it out. Or if it's just not. Obviously, it's not finished. That's part of it. But I feel like there would be some day one early access features that are just missing. Like menu-related stuff. For some reason, my H pattern intermittently worked. Everything button mapped correctly, but the H pattern just would not shift H pattern cars. The clutches did not work. The clutch would register. Alright, you've mapped it. I can clearly see it's operating correctly. It's calibrated. And then when I get in the game, the clutch doesn't do anything. But then when I move the H pattern shifter, it goes to neutral rather than going to the next gear. It's like, okay, the game is telling me that I'm missing a gear because I'm not depressing the clutch. Cool. Why is my clutch not working, though? Because it's clearly mapped, and the game says that it's mapped, and it registers my foot pressing it. Why am I still doing this, by the way? I'm just complaining, and it's distracting me from playing the game. But, anyway. So after this race, I'll jump on AC EVO quick and I'll show you the F1 car. That was the only level of fun I kind of had with it. And I didn't try any races. I just did some solos. I'll try some races to show you. The AI is bad. And they're not even bad from like just a contact standpoint. When I start in front of them, I will genuine, and I mind you, I'm not good at the game. I don't understand the physics yet. I'm able to sort of just drive away from them roughly 1 to 2 seconds per lap. The only time they ever caught me is if I straight up wrecked. And they were on max. Alright, try and qualify P1 here. Look at that.
Got pole position.
Let's go. Nice one.
There, Rodrigan, I forgot your name again. Sorry. Are you available if you want to try some Project Motor Racing multiplayer? That's what I want to do. I want people to play it so I can play online. That's likely what I'll be doing again tonight at like 11 o'clock is probably some open lobbies. Nighttime streams. That's what those are going to be for from now on. Workstation. Alright, this is too much. I think I should play Need for Speed. Jeepers Crow. I want to get out of this. There we go. Quit to main menu. Now we're gonna boot up some AC Evo. I'm gonna show you the F1 car. I did think that was fun. That's about the only fun I had in that. Back out. Nope, no patch in the queue. Oh, man. Oh. Alright, open mode. This car, the Maserati's not bad, too. Just the driving physics, though, just don't feel right. Make sure my graphic settings are... You know. Oh, and VSync too. Now I know people don't like VSync, but again, it's not the same one of those things where if you have enough frames, it works well. It breaks this game. I don't know why. You lose so many frames. Like I'll be getting, so for example, I'll try and cap this to 144 frames. The game will be generating 200 frames. I turn this on, I'm getting 100 frames. Not locked at 144. Doesn't make any sense. DLAA, turn you off. So we got to turn this grass off. Apply. Nope, not what I want. I'm not even going to attempt this car on the Nürburgring. Red Bull Ring's relatively an easy track. Let's do Spa. Let's do Spa. Sis. All right, so max AI, max opponents. Try this out. So this game goes right to realism. There is no adjustment of that. Not yet, anyway. So I can't add ABS to this car. I can't add TC to this car. It's just not there. Just goes right to the real thing. But I do have to get the, like, this car will not work with cold tires. That's interesting. The game is playing out my TV speakers. Or my sound system. I'm sitting there, I'm like, why is it so quiet? Clearly working now. Oh, what is happening here now? What is happening? That about? This was 1 for 1 yesterday. Oh, I know what's happening. I know what's happening. No, this is on me. It doesn't automatically. There we go. This is the problem. It's on F1 and not my other setting. So it's the wheel, it's thinking it's 360. I have to set it to 900. There we go. Close that off. That should, let's just... There we go. 1 to 1. Oh, shit. About to get driven through. All right. That was our problem right there. That's done. I would use clutches, but my clutches don't work. So I gotta neutral drop it, basically. Like I'm 17. Some of the game's force feedback is really good, though, I'll say that. Some of it's shot. Look at that line of cars. Look at that. Look at that. Good God. What is happening? The AI is I'm surprised there were two cars next to each other right there. That doesn't normally happen in this. Let's see if they form another perfect line again. Look at that. Look at that perfect AI line. And here's the thing. See what I'm getting for frames? These graphics right now look far worse than Project Motor Racing in the current configuration. To get the same frames. As max settings as PMR. But this game got like overly hyped and glazed even after the fact. And it's like, I know you all don't like Ian Bell, but like, mother of God, you really like let a single person justify burning a company to the ground? Look at that. Now again, I know this is early access and Project Motor Racing is not, but let's face it, it is. It is in Project Motor Racing, or it is in early access. Bottom line is this. Oh my God. This game has been on the market longer. Period. That's at the end of the day, how the game runs, that is the only piece of information that you need to compare it to. Yes, PMR is more expensive. Yes, it is considered to be 1.0 and not 0.4, but this game has the potential to be the best looking sim, in my opinion, period. But they need to fix the frame rate problems if you're gonna get there. Also, I don't at all understand the driving physics of this game yet, so please bear with me in my driving. But the point is that the AI is maxed out right now. They are maxed out. They can't drive any better currently. And I'm driving pretty poor right now, and they're not going around me. They're just staying in a train line. It's like a hive mind. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, Jesus. What's funny is, I don't know, has anybody paying attention to my stats? Notice the GPU utilization and the frame rate. It's consistently dropping. Listen to that. Every one of them was applying throttle at the exact same point. Everything about that. The AI is a mirror image of the other AI. And my frame rate has been going down this entire race. I'm curious to see if we get into the 90s soon. We started with 150. And the thing is like, if you see the numbers next to it, the numbers next to it are my highs and lows. So I'm dropping into the 40s. It's just at a very slow point. I can see it. The game looks terrible. The game is getting progressively worse as I play it. I don't know if it's a memory leak issue or what, but this game is unplayable to me. I don't care that it says I'm getting 111 frames. It doesn't look like that. The number next to it is what it feels like. This is getting worse and worse and worse. I don't know what it looks like on stream. On stream it doesn't look that bad, but on my end, it's chuggy. It's crazy to think that this is supposed to be what 110 frames is like. I can assure you, PlayStation at 60 frames, substantially smoother than my experience right now. Oh, it looks so bad, the horizon. Let's just total the car. Anyway, you get the idea. Dude, it's insane. This, like... I have the exact same computer configured to what I would call perfect. This game, I haven't played it at all in 0.3, because the biggest reason I hadn't really played it at all is because of how poorly it ran. My experience and my frame rate dropped exponentially from start to finish, and I have to close the game, and if I reopened it, I would get all of that performance back, and then it would slowly go away. Not to mention the AI is the worst AI I've seen, because it's the earliest stages of AI. Obviously, it's not a finished game. Again, I know I keep repeating that, but you have to. But when I crashed the first time and turned around and watched the AI, you would hear the exhaust note. Wow, 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 wow. They're in the exact same spot every single time. They're programmed to do the exact same thing the whole time. Like, I'm sorry. I know video game or sim. What I've learned about sim racing, there is a ton of bias and favoritism. Like a ton of it. Like, I really feel like reviewers collectively don't like Ian Bell, and it was almost like they had like an inside pact to destroy this game based off Ian Bell's name. So they're just gonna, without using Ian Bell's name, they're just gonna destroy this game. I'm sorry. As a remotely even close to a deliverable product, this game is 10 times better than EVO. And I understand the EVO is in alpha or early access. I get it. I'm not using that to diss EVO. I'm using it to go at all of the public sentiment and reviews of this game versus EVO. If you went on the internet, if you didn't play either one of these games and went on YouTube and said, should I get AC EVO or Project Motor Racing? Well, let's ask YouTube. Not a single person would recommend this game. And it is objectively the better game. I'm sorry. Rarely do I say your opinion is wrong, but your opinion is wrong if you think AC EVO is a better game than this right now. There are aspects to EVO that show promise of it being a better game. Like what? I'm just oof. That was unplayable. Like, I don't know. Again, I really can't say what that looked like on stream from a smoothness standpoint, but I assure you, I couldn't play it. It was trying to play Gran Turismo 7 with bad graphics because I have the graphics turned down to get the frame rate up, but stuck at 30 frames. And I'm sorry, maybe it's just me being a prima donna. I can't play a race game at 30 frames. If I did, I'd go play on PlayStation 1 or 2. Now, in all fairness, since I'm critiquing is it this class? No, the GTE class. The GTE class sucks in this game. They are now the GTE class is now the new worst class in Project Motor Racing. Oh, no, we gotta be fair, sorry. I gotta add the AI. We gotta keep it comparable. Gotta be fair. Now playing Soundpad. Is that a game? Can actually do that? Oh, wrong thing. I don't want identical vehicle. Leave AI at 50% for the sake of just demonstration purposes. Now, let's keep things fair. Turn frame gen off. Turn DLAA on. That's it. This game's official max graphics. So I have learned too that there is still somewhat of since we're on the subject of critiquing, there are still some graphical bugs with GPU utilization. So I'm curious to see like I said, DLAA leverages GPU better than DLSS. So I don't get less frames with DLAA, despite it technically being more demanding. Because the difference between, if you don't know, the difference between DLAA and DLSS is DLAA is called Deep Learning Anti-Aliasing, and it's native 4K. It's rendering at, and it shows you 4K. And DLSS is Deep Learning Super Sampling, and if you do quality, it renders it at 1440p and upscales it to 4K. Thank you for the sub. Appreciate that. Man, as soon as I got back on Project Motor... PC, people want this game to do good. Who is it? Woj Tech. Thank you. So we lost 2 subs on F125, and I gained a sub in the menu of Project Motor Racing.
Focus on the lights.
Alright, so right now our GPU is low, and we're streaming, so we're going to be extra low. So I want to see if I change settings, if the GPU will come back up. I think it's going to naturally come up right now. Yeah, usually at the start, it's weird. The GPU isn't getting leverage. And notice how it's like slowly going up? It just dropped again. But that's the thing though, right? Even though my frame rate is saying I'm getting 30 less frames or whatever than AC EVO, this is smooth. This looks like 100 FPS on a console compared to 30 FPS on a console. Oh, sorry, buddy. But if you're wondering, though, how much streaming and stuff robs for horsepower when you're watching my frame rate and why I run frame gen, the video I put up earlier today is just recording, using the same thing, but not streaming as well. I was getting 20 to 30 more frames on this exact same setting. Yeah, see, notice how the GPU's at like 100% right now? But I turn on DLSS to turn on frame gen. That part's annoying. Because I do believe my frame rate's not going to change. I could be wrong. We'll see if it leverages the GPU or not. Oh, it came up. So it's probably, again, it's probably just because I'm streaming. But we're still not leveraging the GPU. But the frame rate is better, even with lesser GPU usage. But this is how we were just playing, what do you call it? AC EVO, with DLSS quality on. I'd have already crashed in AC EVO. Hey, that was actually a crunch sound. It didn't sound like I punched him in the throat. But for the sake of streaming, in my experience, I run frame gen because the stream and recording and stuff hurts my frames. So I do this, and all of a sudden, I get a buttery smooth 144 FPS experience. Oh, it's so nice. Like, that's so good. So right there, if you look up there, the way this chart shows you now compared to before, is it's showing you my natively rendered frames and then my frame gen frames. So obviously it's 1 for 1. And you do, I will say, with frame gen, there is a penalty for using it. So I'm not rendering the same amount of real frames I was before, but I'm doubling it with 1 for 1 frames. So oh, Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Like, if you look right now, you can't really see anything, but like where the hood line of the car is compared to the road, it looks normal. If this car were white, you would see a little bit of a white ghosting line, and that's from frame gen. It's things like that's where you would see frame gen. From a playable experience, there's no difference. If anything, the experience is just better because it's smoother. There's no input lag, there's no response time issues, no latency penalties of any kind that I can feel. And like I said, I could barely feel the ones on Gran Turismo when I switched from game mode to standard mode. And yet there was a 3-second 1-lap penalty on the Nordschleife that has no effect on my driving here, which means it's even smaller, the penalty. Looking like GT7 with all this bumping. Nah, if it was GT7, they would have pit maneuvered me already. Like, once this game, in my opinion, this game needs graphically 3 adjustments from a visual standpoint. At least on PC. Shadow rendering needs to be all the way out. I need to have more adjustment over that. Because it doesn't, I can turn the shadows off and it barely even touches my frame rate. Very little effect on frames, the shadows. So give me all of the ability to turn them out. 2, reflections of the cars. Light bounces off of car paint, weird in this game. It makes the car look like outlined in white, like a white film on it. It's very strange. They need to fix that. And then 2, if they want to please the crowd, get rid of this like realism filter that makes it look dull and make it nice and vibrant. Or at least a little bit more vibrant. I guarantee you all the people complaining about graphics would shut up. I guarantee you that the filter alone would make people shut up. Because the other things are only noticed by like the 1%ers when it comes to the graphic stuff. But the filter is noticed by most people. If they just made it more vibrant, which the thing is that in the modding world, someone could do that pretty effortlessly. Adding a filter to make it just more vibrant and look nicer. Because that's where everybody's getting a lot of their complaints about the graphics. But you notice, like, this experience is just 10 times better. My frame rate's not dropping down. AI is playable. No AI is good. I would say, on the AI scale, this AI is good. Oh, my driving, on the other hand, that AI just actually saved me. I was definitely going to go on the wall right there. But that AI just helped me out. Thank you, sir. You're going to be around tonight there, Rodrigan, if you want to do some public lobbies? So I'm probably going to do that again tonight for this game. Right now, all the viewership is on Gran Turismo and other stuff. And I'm not joining that bandwagon. I'm going to do what I want to do, so this is unfortunately for the masses what I want to do. So tonight I'm thinking thinking we do some open lobbies. Alright. I am going to switch cars. I'm going to try out my new wheel. I'm going to use the bathroom quick. What do I want to do for a car, though? Yeah, let's go Capri. All right. Be right back. All right. God, this wheel feels good. I'm going to do this race. I'm going to see what's actually... You know, let me real quick. This isn't obviously going to go anywhere. Let me jump into multiplayer and see where everybody's at. If there's anything even going on. So lobbies. So refresh just to double check. GT3. Well, I just swapped my wheel, so. Assist authentic. This is what I'm talking about with popularity, though. Like, the people that are still playing this game are using car... Which, mind you, GT3 in this game is fine now. So no complaints. But they're still not the shining cars. The shining cars are the old stuff. Anyway, we'll save me making my own lobbies for later. Race weekend. Autumn looks really good. Autumn looks like autumn. All right. H pattern, new wheel. Debating if I should take those off or not. I'm never going to use them for a more authentic look. I'm such a weird guy. All right. Oh yeah, silicone tires. All right, here we go. Here we go. Yeah, I did try the GT7 update, but I only have controller now because I can't play on a wheel, so I couldn't tell you if anything feels different. Oh, Jesus. I should probably learn to drive, huh? I'm probably going to pick up a G923 just for Gran Turismo. Because I want my girl to be able to play, and she likes driving the minis in Gran Turismo. So I'm probably going to get the Placey Challenge collapsible rig with a G923. And then also get Project Motor Racing on that as well. And then we can race each other on that. This wheel feels so good. God. Oh, that's exciting. Oh. I was considering jumping in a Thrustmaster too. Getting a T598 because they're the same price. So I was like, I just hate the wheelbase of the T598. That like hexagon, I don't know what they're doing with that thing. Nope, that wasn't the way. So, after I put this wheel through its paces, I'm the crazy guy that goes, well, you know what? I'm gonna buy the leather version of this wheel, because this wheel comes in suede and leather. And I'm gonna buy another hub. And I'm gonna switch back and forth on my own personal wheel, or my own personal hub. And then I'll put the Simagic wheel on the other hub. And it'll be my wheel for other people use. You know, I like lighting money on fire like that. This is the Sparco R330. It's an actual real Sparco wheel, not a collab wheel or anything like that. Like, I bought this off of Sparco's website. Oh, you little bastard. Did you get your wife set up for Christmas? Yeah, my girl's, my future wife, I should say. But, she's not like, she's just a casual. She doesn't like jump on and play video games or anything like that, but she does like driving the minis around, like I said, in Gran Turismo. She likes Daytona, the road course, stuff like that. Oh, Jesus! Force feedback. Max force feedback. It lets you know every once in a while that it's on. Oh, Jesus. Too busy looking at the view and not where I'm going. Just experimenting with different views. This is my second favorite view outside of cockpit. I actually prefer this view, but from a realism standpoint, you know, cockpit. Are you going to be on tonight, Rodrikan? I am butchering that name, and I will continue to butcher it for as long as I shall live. But I am going to do more public lobbies tonight. Is it Fuel Loco? Am I saying that right? Or is it Fuel Loco? Fuel, that's the same thing. I just said the same thing. Alright, cool. Yeah, I'll be on late. I'm not going to go live until 11 o'clock tonight. Fue Loco? Gotcha. Gotcha. One thing about Alcantara, though. You should wear gloves, because the hands get sweaty. Oh, you little... I'm driving awful right now. I don't really care, though. Oh! All right. I think I'm done for now. Until I get back on tonight. So the plan is, I'll be back on at 11 a.m. 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and which is in 9 hours. I'll be back on. We're doing some Friday night public lobbies, probably in Project Motor Racing. So I'm holding out. I'm holding out this game. I did a 720, 900. Nice, yeah. Yeah, I wasn't even looking at it. I'll be honest with you, I was barely even looking at the track, clearly. So anyway, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight, we'll be doing some public lobbies. I'm going to, obviously, I will make my listed upcoming live, whatever. And as you all know, if you want to be involved, join the Discord. Or just join the stream, the lobby when it's open. But Discord, obviously, on voice comms is a lot easier to tolerate. So, anyway, folks, thank you for being here, and for the subscribers, I appreciate it as always. And if you liked it, click like. If you're not subscribed and you want to subscribe, you can do that too. I'd appreciate it. But if not, I'll see you tonight, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace.